Hey everybody, welcome to another video on my channel. I have good news and bad news for you today. Well, the bad news maybe is that I recorded 3 videos and my camera froze and got erased. So good news, here I am with a fresh, kind of like off the cuff video about the state of AI report in 2023. I love AI, like you know it. I want to talk about AI because technology is one of my favorite topics. So I'm going to talk to you about this report. And full disclosure, is actually not something that I created. It's something that a guy called Nathan Biniak created. And he's from Air Street Capital. I actually don't know much about him. This report was forwarded to me and I thought it was super interesting. And I've been reading it for the last 2 days. So let's jump in and talk about this. Shall we? I promise, if you want to learn about AI, what's happening with AI, this is the video to watch. Let's go. Okay, first thing first, this report came out October 12, 2023, so it's super fresh. I don't even know I did that. I don't even have a watch in this hand. It's actually in this hand. Do you wear your watch on the left or on the right? Comment below. Random question. State of the AI report, October 12, 2023, Nathan Biniak, Air Street Capital. Now, well, I do have access to the presentation because it was sharing the report. I'm not going to share all the slides. I just selected the ones that I thought were interesting. Okay, so here we go. This is obviously an executive summary of what has happened and what is happening in 23. Will not bore you with the details. I will link the report on the video so that you can watch it and read it for yourself, but there is an executive summary. Okay, so they make predictions about, I hope you can see this. He and they make predictions about what happened in 2023. Okay, so here's what's going on with the predictions in 2022 and what had happened, and they basically do this, and then there's predictions also at the end for 2023. So prediction that did not pan out. They thought there was a 10 billion parameter multimodal RL model trained by DeepMind. Did not happen. It has not, or at least it has not been publicly disclosed. The semiconductor startup, in the face of NVIDIA's dominance and high-profile startups, shut down and acquired for less than 50% of the most recent valuation. There have been no markdowns and no major shutdown or depressed acquisitions due to the semiconductor industry, but NVIDIA did actually, we talk about it later, make huge investments for the semiconductor industry due to the high demand for large language models. Something else that did not happen is a proposal to regulate AGI labs gets backing from an elected UK user politicians. The calls for regulations have heightened, but there's no backing for BLS yet. All right, I already talked about NVIDIA. Okay, so what did they predict that did happen? The Sota LLM trained on 10x more data points than Chinchilla. Well, we don't know for sure, but ChatGPT provided a 13 trillion token versus Chinchilla's 1.4 trillion, Meta's Llama 2 on 2 trillion tokens. And if you don't know this, the more tokens theoretically means the more accuracy. Okay, generative audio tools emerge and attract over 100,000 developers. Yes, we know that AI has effectively entered the audio world. GAFAM invests over $1 billion on AGI, while Microsoft actually committed to invest further $10 billion in OpenAI on January 2023. 100 million are invested in dedicated AI and learning organizations. Yes, this has happened. A lot of investments into AI alignment has come to fruition, and then major user-generated content like Already, for instance, negotiates a commercial settlement with the startup producing AI models for training on their corpus for user-generated. While it was not Reddit, OpenAI has secured a 6-year license to access additional Shutterstock training data and Shutterstock is a website that has image, video, and music library and associated metadata. And so what they are doing is basically using all this data to train their model. So I hope this was kind of helpful thus far. Let's go into what's going on. So this is the introduction. We're gonna cover research today, and if you like this video, comment below and you think I should make more of this. I will go further into industry, politics, safety, and predictions as well. But today, let's cover research. And can I just say how excited I am of seeing all of these research and sharing this with you? Like, this is an amazing, high quality piece of information, of anything AI related. Okay. GPT-4 is out and it crushes every other LLM and many humans. 100% true, GPT-4 is out and it's crushing. They just recently added audio and video as well. So like, it's just like, just doing really, really good. And honestly, like, there's so much in this research that talks about how it is going to happen in the future. So stay tuned. Okay. So GPT-4 technical report puts the nail on the coffin on SOTA LLM research. What does this mean? Well, basically, while GPT-4 said that they were going to be like open sourcey or like research friendly, the reality is that they closed in the latest report any specific details about their models, which in this report says it marks basically the start of the commercialization areas of LLM, of AI and LLMs. And we've seen this happening with the advent of many other LLMs, and how GPT-4 is now an open AI. Now they're starting to monetize, or they have monetized or started to monetize. So like, yeah, we did not expect this technology to stay open for a long time. Context length is the new parameter count. Okay, so this is related to prompt engineering. And so one of the recommendations from prompt engineering that you need to give ChatGPT a lot of content in order to get better results. Well, this new research is saying no, context is actually not necessarily one of the most important things. And then we talk about what you actually can do. But before we talk about that, the question here was, can small with good data rival big? And what they're asking is, can a small language model, an SLM, versus a large language model like an LLM beat an LLM if it is very specific? And the answer is maybe not beating, but definitely rivaling a LLM, because they have more context and awareness of the specifics. And so we will definitely see a combination of small language models as well as large language models in order to address industry, company, and or I don't know, maybe even country specific questions. You know what I mean? Like, for some things, the narrower the better. For other things, more general knowledge, large language models will suffice. Okay, so this was a 2022 prediction. Large language models trained on huge amounts of data. And here's what's interesting about this. Like, if we think about ChatGPT and you hear about LLM, you may think that it's like one model. When in reality, this specific research talks about how and basically what OpenAI is supposedly not disclosing is that GPT-4 is actually a 16-way mixture model with 8 sets of weights, which technically makes it less, I don't know, like, less like innovation and more like, and to be clear, like, I don't know, I think it feels like it feels like gossip, but basically what they're saying here is like, if GPT-4 was one model that did all of these things, then it would be more interesting. If it actually they're just putting together 16 different models that come together and do a bunch of different things. From my perspective, it doesn't really matter how they achieve it, as long as I think like we can benefit from it. So yeah, I thought it was interesting how they talked about this difference, and maybe you know more context than I do, so just let me know in the comments. Okay, here's a cool question that came up in this research is, are we running out of human generated data? And the thing is that this report predicts that by 2030, 2026 or 2025, we are going to run out of high quality language data, written language data. What does that mean? That at once basically like any model can be trained on high quality language data of all human history, then in order to advance, we're gonna have to figure out other ways to improve these models. And so think audio, think video, think like new information. And so I thought it was interesting that they said they were gonna run out of high quality language data before 2025. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a cool problem. It's gonna be a challenge. I'm excited to see what happened. One other thing that could happen is, for example, is like there's a bunch of research that it's not open. I wonder if they could get access to that or if they're already using it. You know what I mean? Like research data that never gets used coming from all over the world. Okay, so here's the recommendation about prompting. So instead of context, actually what they recommend here, you're using something called the chain of thought prompting, or called also tree of thought prompting. And so basically what they're saying is like, if you were to prompt ChatGPT as, let's take it step by step with like this type of words, then it really outperforms it really outperforms a model outperforms itself in terms of the quality of the result compared to if you didn't include this word. And apparently the reason is simply because it is more aware of all of the steps that it has to take. And so yeah, like by having to writing them down for you, I guess the quality gets better. It's interesting, right? Okay, so some of the things that ChatGPT 4 has been doing is, for instance, performing this algorithm by studying papers and reasoning. And RL has been the go-to game-based problem algorithm for things like Minecraft and Crafter. And so what GPT-4 has actually been able is to play this game and play this algorithm and beat it. I think that's super cool because this had also happened for other things, like it happening for like visual reasoning. So the point of visual reasoning is like, imagine right now mostly like you give it text and then it tries to like understand what you're saying. Well, with visual reasoning would be the same, but with video, right? And so imagine all the expanded capabilities of this. Like it could, I don't know, perform some type of surgery remotely because now it can see what and understand and ingest the visual and reason on that visual like humans almost do. I think this is fascinating. Okay, obviously LLM has been used for autonomous driving. I think this is super exciting, and I hope it continues to evolve. They also have beat humans world champions at race drone. I think that's super cool too. Like just a quick, they're like LLMs are beating us a lot of these things. Okay. Okay, so this is an interesting story. So there's a thing called an emergence of maps in the memories of blind navigation agents. And so basically they tested the navigations agent and they asked them, like, without giving it any additional information, could you create a map? It's like, you know, like how you may have like some type of map in your brain about your town. Yeah, they were wondering basically if this LLM had the same thing, and they actually do. I think that's really cool, don't you think? Okay, this large language model called Cicero actually mastered natural language to beat humans at diplomacy, which involves planning and negotiating natural language with other players over multiple rounds. So the game is called diplomacy, and again, it's like beating humans in all this game. Okay, text to video generation continues. Love the trend of text to image, text to video. I think it's so helpful, especially for content creators like us. I mean, the opportunities are honestly endless. Like imagine me creating this video with just like giving them like old videos of me and then writing out, or having it like kind of like create the concept, having it write it now, and then I can give it my own flair. I think that would be really fun. Okay, so editing of imaging keeps growing. I think this is important because imaging, AI generated images have been kind of like one of those things where it's like there's so much potential, but they've not hit the mark, or we know exactly what to use it for, etc., etc. So I love that they keep investing into this area and that we could do a lot of cool things with it in the future. This I found really interesting. There was more accurate beta prediction by incorporating some type of AI, large language model, into the prediction of the casts of the weather. I actually had no idea that this was a thing, but apparently they're doing, they're improving the forecast of weather, especially I think when it comes to like near real time weather prediction, which is the hardest to predict. Okay, another product is music generation. Actually, we know now that with AI we can generate new type of music that we've never listened to before, and they actually made a bet for next year, I'll give you this in advance, that one of these AI generated audios will hit the top 100 Billboard charts. I wonder if this is like a thing. I wonder if as humans we're gonna like AI generated music. I don't know. It's weird, right? I don't know. Okay, diffusion models design diverse functional proteins for sample molecular specifications, which means that we are actually getting into advanced biomedical engineering here with large language models. Love this for us as humans, because this is a thing that has been extremely, like, I feel like under researched in terms of technology, and like especially in AI and data. So, and whether it was because of the lack of technology or the lack of like awareness, I don't know what it is, but like now we're making stride thanks to this technology. Oh yes, so this news is about this model passing the score of the US medical licensing examination. Can you believe that? Like, I mean, now it makes sense. Like, there's a large language model that I've also passed, like the lawyer bar examination, now the medical licensing examination. It speaks about not necessarily that these are as good as reasoning as humans, because that's not true yet, but it speaks about the level of knowledge that they can have and how they can help humans in the context of these professions. One of my favorite stories that is a must include in research is always improvements in women's health. And this computer vision model is actually shown to be very useful for detecting and screening breast cancer and tuberculosis and things like that. So I love this, again, for women's health. They're usually underrepresented and underfunded. Okay, so interestingly enough, while medicine grows really fast in the world of AI right now, mathematics still we still struggle with math. It's like we've never left high school, right? So yeah, we're still spending a lot of time using this for mathematics. But do you see all of the other industries in which LLMs and AI for science is being used right now? Immunology, agriculture, social science, chemistry, neuroscience, psychology, economics, medicine, business, physics, and mathematics. Amazing. Okay, here's the thing though, most impactful research comes only from a very few places. Let me show you this, because this is crazy, okay? Look at this. Look how much research for AI is coming from the USA. This is 2020, 21, and 2022. China, UK, and then everybody else, Singapore, Germany, Australia, France, Netherlands. Listen, but say whatever you want to say, but number of patents and research is one of the number one indicators of and drivers of innovation. So if you think that your country should be part of this extreme innovative challenge, research, patents is the way to go. And then, yeah, in terms of organizations, the authors have been Google, Meta, Microsoft, UC Berkeley, DeepMind, Stanford, Washington, University of Washington, OpenAI, Carnegie Mellon, MIT, Tsinghua University, NVIDIA, National University of Singapore, and New York University. Okay, so this video went quite long, and this is all the research that I found that I really like. There's a lot more, so I'll link the slides below. So if you do want part 2, subscribe, follow, comment, let me know so that I can do the second part on industry. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.